Ultra. It's almost like a Phoenix does on Haven with double doors. But obviously, very different ballgame with the size of Breeze.
Well, yeah, I think that a lot of this is going to come down to the utility cycling of Zeke. Like, he's going for the early information to see where everyone is. And already, here is tagged desperately low. Starzo, we're seeing him on the Viper. We didn't even really mention that, but that is not something we expected to see coming into this series. A switch up for quite a few different agents as the Sky goes missing on their side. And, well, we know that Vivo kyedae like this more puggy style. These individual players looking to try and pop off, and this time it's Joe finding a couple, but again, it always seems to swing back into these 2 versus 2. The overhealed Mura is in a pretty good spot to try and find something here. Slightly whipped, but he gets one anyway. And now it's left onto those in-game leaders, facing off for who has the biggest brain, who can bring home this round. And Joe, he's in the spot to hold it, and he's going to find the headshot to close. 3 kills in the pistol.
He was used, just standing in head of that Leah, dashes out, re-enters. Even if he doesn't get the kill here onto Heat, he does have that support coming in from Bone Cold, who has a nice little boost on his final kill. Would have been a nice little... It's just maybe too soon for such a young squad. And this is an important map. We sort of highlighted that as we were going into the half-time with the desk. It's just Breeze is going to be pivotal to whatever teams want to do well in this tournament. And Cned, well, he's happy to keep on farming through.
Cned has just put them in the ground again. 4K in the last round, looking to at least try and match up into this one. He has finally been able to shut him out, but there's only 20 seconds left. It's already turned into a save, and you can see Killer is looking to try and come in on the flank. They want to remove this operator from Heat's hands. The fact is, though, Acend, as we saw mentioned, doing so well with the information game to find out where their opponents would be, but then they also just had utility like the fragment denying them, splitting them up as they move into the site. Then you have some isolated by the utility holding them back on that poison orb. And so they basically had to try a while, but we're actually going to see a double operator thrown in here. I don't know if that's off the back of picking the one from the last round, but Starzo on an operator Viper. Not something I ever thought I'd see, especially considering he's not far off getting his own ultimate. It probably isn't the best gun to have.
It's awkward, though, because they're both towards mid and B. So retaking with 2 hops, it was already hard enough with 1 at this point. I think another big thing is going to be Vixen surviving. It's a nice toxic screen. It's very default with what you expect, but it means that utility has to be sort of thrown out. They really wanted to put Murray's under pressure. And it's even the operator that gets the kill in the end. Nice shock dart, snakebite combination, and the fragment catching him on the get-go, but still, Vivo kyedae holding on.
Zeke trades things back, though. Both players isolated within the cave. They need to try and find a way to push out, and instead, Zeke's looking to push in. He's got Bone Cold spamming through, and although MW0, he has a chance! He's gonna get all 3! Again, this man, and the always gonna help out. We're gonna see the early shock dart just to try and destroy the Cypher utility, force people to play further towards that tube area. And actually, Mirrors again. He's just walking in. They're trying to sell this as if it's an identical take. That's the plan. Go moving in directly through. And although Killers, well, look at the rotation. They've already pulled players away and left it. I was going to say just onto Cned, but Cned's there.
Yeah, Kilos does well to get the kill. Takes a peek as well with all of that utility being thrown through. Gets that information, but now it's a nice double bait. Starzo looks away at the worst possible time when it comes to that double doors control, and because of that, Bone Cold isn't really expecting somebody to be right in his face. Keyless is on this site, he's got a lot to deal with.
Doesn't get anything for it. Cned has at least dropped the Clutch King from the last, and Starzo
in the game.
Trying to put through a little bit of utility to deny them. Hasn't actually worked out. But they've cleared a lot of these close angles. This round definitely isn't done, and by the looks of it, it's going to be the cave after plant that's set up now for that attacking side. A single snakebite remains if they want to attempt it. And realistically, Starzo can actually just walk past this utility. Instead, he decides to shoot it, use that Viper's Pit, and they're not going to kill him off before it pops. This makes things a little bit awkward, but with Heat close up, he might be able to just kill them off before they go for any sort of defusal. They don't expect him to be this close, and it's left onto Cned. First shot landed, but the time is ticking.
Maybe now that we start to see a bit more attention put towards these extremities, and that's exactly what's happening on A.
Oh, it's a game of chicken. Bone Cold already garners a little bit of extra information. He's got his teammate watching the angle, and they already know that Bone Cold has pushed the threshold. The plan here from Acend is just to be that a little bit more aggressive, and Oh, they've almost scared Vivo Keyed off, but with a couple of players being spotted in that direction, I almost feel like they think that this B site is safer than maybe it is.
Yeah, Starzo is also such an aggressive fighting position. Again, just that poison cloud in that spot. I mean, it works. It catches Vixen on the way out. Not really an angle that you expect a Viper to be playing from. It's not quite ratty. It's out in the open, and Starzo, that's the kind of, even from his personality, he's that good at it. Now it's just a full rotation coming in, then the null command. Now suppressing abilities, but it's not really affecting Joe, and on that Cypher, he can maybe face a little bit more.
Oh, this is starting to fall apart, but Zeke finally steps up to the plate. He is still landing shots, though. Lightning fast reactions, putting this into a 2 versus 2. 30 seconds left.
30 seconds left.
Got to try and clear out Zeke, and well, the Blaze Storm going to be popped. They want to try and isolate this duel. The timing going to be everything, and Heat lands the shot even while slightly blind.
Bone cold again.
It is left into this 1v2. They are planting in the spot for Heat to just hold the angle. To clear this out is going to be incredibly difficult, and MW0, I think, has already spotted him, just trying to bait him in, maybe not expecting anybody to just be holding this cross. He gets the information, and the tag through, but he, again, connects. It's definitely been a battle of the Jets. You have to remember a couple of the early rounds granted to Acend were based on multi-frags from CNED. Zeke attempting...
No mid at all for Vivo Keyed, at all. This hole is exploited, and so is Zeke.
An easy pick. Again, it's pistols in this round, not really anything to play behind. I think CNED was hoping to try and get the early ultimate orb to turn this into some sort of competition. But again, after early presence in one direction, the full rotation comes through, and Vivo Keyed just back off. They walk away. The mid-round calling, I have to say, from Joe, it's been far superior to what we've seen on the other side, because the amount of times they've either walked into a weaker site or an empty site, it's starting to worry me.
When you have such a big map like Breeze, you have 5 players up against 4, you really want to stretch them thin, and this is just a little example. It is up against West Weaponry. At least the trade is going to stop it from being a flawless round. And the retakes were okay on the A site. Awkward. He's going to be likely the same in this case.
Oh, the 145. The most painful thing in existence. He's going to do damage, but grant absolutely nothing from it. And again, a lot of low players, but still 3 been won by him, though. Like, I feel like, what, there was a 4K to get them their first round, what, a 3K to get them their second? He's now got himself another 4K to close out another, like, we don't want to talk about this team being like CNED and friends, but that is what it's starting to look like, at least in the...
addition to more check holes is a place that if Vivo Keyed want to rely on anything, it's just bombing it down there. They've caught a bone cold a few times, they've got to that switch and that pistol. The B setup has pretty much been consistent with keylays. And Starzo still having a toxic screen in hand. It's just going to be that poison cloud in the entrance again on that choke. And right now, Vixen's held onto his toxic screen as well. Not giving away the plan, but I assume as soon as it goes down across the A site, which is where exactly Vivo Keyed are leaning, Acend are going to be prepared. They are going to try and recheck that whole position though. They have left it for a while, and good timing at least, as soon as that toxic screen comes through. And look at this one as well, that's set up from Starzo, allows him to play a bit more deeper.
Maybe one they won't be expecting to play against. Managed to find the tag onto Zeke, but he won't go down. However, Bone Cold has fallen, and because of that, we might actually see a switch up. Heat has found a pick on the other side as well, leaving
30 seconds
just a
left.
few players remaining. Not in the worst of spot, but they're going to be pincered in. CNED can only land one, and Zeke just trying to survive. They have been isolated one by one from the side of Vivo Keyed. A solid attacker side round. And what are the chances here for Killers? Completely out of position. A rotation versus a Viper's Pit, and 4 players waiting.
And we were saying, like in the other series, the round 12, Acend were the ones that were bringing out little curveballs. That's the first time that we've really seen Vivo Keyed presence in mid, getting that kill. And again, the timing to go through. This is now interesting. It's not done and done.
To take this one over the line, Ryan, are you a believer?
We'll have to see at this point. I said that this pistol's going to be important, and it certainly was going to be for Zeke. He's almost doubled the kills that he's had in the server just off this pistol alone in the first 7 seconds. Now that util is going to be fired in onto B, it was a site that was held loosely for Vivo Keyed. And just as we were sort of saying, mid-control on the attack for Vivo Keyed, they didn't really go elbow at all on the attack, but that's where they went instantly on the defense.
Maybe a hard read, but whatever it is, it's still worked out for Acend. The timing for MW0, though, couldn't have been any better. He's brought things back into a 3v3 and looks to move over to his teammates. The peek from Acend is also going to be dropped. Joe, he was quiet individually, but he's now coming up big for his squad once again. It's left on to Zeke. I believe he might even have to ace it just to take this one home, and it is not happening. A 3 versus 4 to a 3 versus 0. Vivo Keyed end up dominating the pistol.
It's the trades, it's the space. The other two teams that are playing later today, NVX10 also in this group, probably watching this one, hoping that Vivo Keyed win. I don't need to worry about making that mistake too much more often.
If Vivo Keyed ever face Vikings again, you're screwed.
Yeah, hopefully Mitch will be back from then. I don't have to deal with it. But I'm sure like NV fan favorites in that matchup really wanted Vivo Keyed to win this one. And Acend, it's scary. You never know what you're going to get from either of those two teams that are still playing later on today. Then slowly making their way into the site. The camera is going to get all of the information from Joe. I reckon that's going to pick up a couple.
Spike planted.
The plant at least. Realistically now it's all about damage and heat. It's not going to allow for any of it. Just popping heads as he goes. Leaving killers. There's the last man standing. Absolutely no chance for him here in a Blade Storm. Very nearly online already. So this is a terrifying prospect now for Acend. In fact, I think they're actually going to give him that extra diffusal just to make sure that he gets it. He can drop that ball. Nothing more for Zeke in this round, but he might have done enough trying to spot people early on the edge with the dismiss. But they have to watch out. There's a flank coming in. Killers could end this round in its tracks, but they're getting aggressive enough that they might be able to kill a few of the players before they come through. Vixen will land the shot as they wrap back around and leave this now onto just two players. The flanker, but more importantly, Acend. He's the one with the angle onto the spike, and he gets absolutely nothing. Just one player down, leaving it all onto Killers. He finds the burn, but he cannot close out Mures, who ends this round with a triple.
It's the fact
this is the map that I would say they've actually looked best on, even considering the icebox was into the pool, maybe picking it just because they didn't think they'd get it later. And he's taking no liberties, pushing all the way forward. Now they've heard the Blade Storm popped. It's Acend having something at least a little bit extra, but hiding in this corner is not going to be checked. It's a freebie, and now he can just back away, wary just in case someone's going to try and peek up and trade him out, but he'll escape before anyone will be able to respond.
It was also just that 50-50 decision, making a recon that was in the hands of Bone Cold to try and clear him, but they decided against it. Like in these scenarios, they're not sure what they want to do. Protocols have been better, and now Mures can sort of go to town with mid control. Starzo lurking late, even if he gets pretty far, there is a tripwire to stop him. Joe playing in this switch spot, kind of knows it. Go away.
Not today, thank you. Starzo, well, being literally shut out of this round. Shock darts to weaken him up. It's been looking a lot more disjointed in this map from Acend, but the fact is Vivo Keyed have isolated those individual duels and they have won the majority of them. With 2 players remaining, it's forced into a save, and realistically, it's going to have to be a 7-round streak for Acend. Otherwise, we are going to see the Brazilian team head into that upper bracket match.
And across like Vivo Keyed in this series, the mechanical skill is there, the firepower, we knew it would be. But just the team play, just the ideas, the defaults, the executes, the post plans, everything is a lot sharper. Now this looks like a Brazilian super team.
Yeah, this is what we've been waiting for, and while Starzo, there's no escape.
It's still not out.
Again, though, it's not a weak purchase coming back for Vivo Keyed. In fact, you've now got heat on the operator, 1 away from a Blade Storm, and if he can finish this here and now, I don't think they're going to mind. Looking to try and garner at least a little bit of information. They look to try and burst into this ASAP, but actually it's only Zeke. Everybody else just waiting back behind, looking to try and push in alongside him. The flash is good, and it's a laboured spray, but he gets the kill nonetheless. The spike yet to cross. So still not directly committed, but with 2 players already in, you'd expect them to make their way through, just waiting for the screen to be recharged. But look at this wraparound through mid.
Spike planted.
He also still have a bit of utility to throw in to try and catch them off. Mures is a little bit of spray. Vixen trading up Acend. So again, it's this high line. Kyedae's managing to slip through. You need these kind of...
I assume this is going to be fast as well. The fact that Starzo has the operator means that Acend's probably about to just launch himself straight into the site. and look to put the pressure onto Joe, and he's already gone. So much utility just forcing them back, although there is a trade. The Hunter's Fury actually finding a couple attacks here and there. He has managed to get another one, and this leaves Zeke isolated on the site. The remaining couple of players just trying to hold from the backlines. The wraparound from Bone Cold could be absolutely everything.
Yeah, that elbow control is going to be so important, but they really need to help out Zeke in this situation. There's an important kill for Bone Cold. Zeke is still holding on, but he is putting up the pressure. He's starting to try and cook the KO alive, but Mura is actually getting behind.
Zeke. One more, a 2 versus 2 scenario, and they have to clear this man from the flank. It's left all on to Zeke to try and close this one out, but it